What? Are we
Right
on
now?
already?
I have to stop saying.
Now we're on. Now I can't swear.
Coming up on the DLS Stars Post Game show, look, we have a special guest. Sean Shapiro back in studio again. Luds is fired up. Special guest Trevor Ludwig is here. He's been here at the watch party if you watched the watch along. I'm here, and of course, producer John is here. Sam will join us later from Denver. Let's get it started. Post game show after Game 4. Not fun, but we'll still have some fun here on DLLS.
Get ready, boys.
This is the DLLS Stars Post Game show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. And by Happiest Hour. Check out Happiest Hour for the best spot to watch the NHL playoffs. And don't forget, we are still running our NFL Draft Die Hard special. $36 for your first year to be a DLS Die Hard. Top level access. You get all sorts of great things from our Die Hard level writing, access to the Discord channel, discounts on merchandise and events, and of course, a free DLLS t-shirt of your choice when you sign up for your first year. That could be the one I'm wearing, the little flag shirt. Could be one of the Stars playoff shirts with the Moose. It could be with the captain, Jamie Benn. Yes, we know he does not wear a visor, but you can't write captain across his face. That would just look weird. And of course, there's also the Finnish Mafia shirt as well, which is a fantastic shirt. I highly recommend. And don't mess up. Don't wait around. Don't hesitate, because if your sizes are not available, there's no telling how quickly they'll be restocked. So get them while they are still there. All right. Alongside myself, Owen Newkirk, let me introduce you to a full-blown panel tonight. We're going to get a little loopy, a little silly, but you might as well to digest that one. Game 4 loss, 4-0 to the Avalanche, alongside Sean Shapiro and Craig Ludwig, and our special guest, that's right, Trevor Ludwig, a.k.a. There's Another One, if you look underneath the tag.
And then there's another, and then there's another.
One of three.
Yeah.
And producer John, by the way.
Are there only 3 of you?
Should we talk
that
about
we know
this
of.
now, or should we wait till Sam is on?
Talk about who?
Well, that's what I said. That's exactly it. Should we talk about the joke of the day regarding your offspring, or should we wait and roast Sam when he's here to defend himself? We're live, so this
I'm not
is
even sure what the joke of the day is.
You don't remember the
knowing
text
that we
thread about
exist.
not knowing that
Yeah,
they,
well, that's what.
they exist and played professional hockey.
Oh, that part. Well, that's a Sam thing.
We should roast Sam.
Yeah, roast
okay,
Sam.
we're going to do that.
Shouldn't
Stick
we roast
around.
Sam while he's here?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I literally just
wasn't
said, should we
listening.
wait until he's here to defend himself? So let's do that.
He did say Jake Andre laid an egg, so we need to go into that conversation too.
We need to pull that up. Can we
Just
pull
wait,
that
when
up?
Sam
So
gets
is
here,
Sam's coming on?
when he'll come on probably in our 4th segment.
Trevor,
and he'll
just
be
sit back
walking,
and relax. It'll all
he'll be
unfold for
walking
you.
into a lion's den tonight.
You're a rookie
All right,
again.
listen. Sometimes our diehards get a little angry when I smile too much after a regular season loss. So if I'm smiling tonight after a playoff loss, you know that people are going to get upset. Get your super chats in. We'll talk all about it. All right, guys. Let's start with our guest. Biggest takeaway from losing 4-0 to Colorado tonight in Game 4.
Just remember, until we get to the 59-minute mark, you can't truly say what you think.
You can say
So
what you
just
think
remember that
without
part.
the Ludwig language.
It just has to be censored. You can say what you
Got
think.
it.
It's just got to be
Look, Colorado's a good team. If we think that the Stars are going to win 4-1, 4-0, 4-2 in the series, it's just not going to happen. I mean, they're a good team. You got to give credit to good teams and good players. It's at home. They were desperate. They had to win, and they did. For this,
Quit saying
what's that?
You say a lot. Quit saying Good grief. That's your go-to pause word.
Well, I have to think. You gave me your brain.
Yeah, well.
well, I mean, like any
I had to give it to 3 of you, so I got little bits and pieces.
Yeah,
all
I got
around.
a third.
Luds.
we're gonna
Any
have fun
professional
tonight.
hockey player uses like that. We should talk to Sam about that.
You would know. They have. That's a filler word.
Yeah.
That's what Judge Judy would say. That's a filler word.
A pregnant pause.
Pregnant pause. Well, there you go.
All right. So,
Okay.
takeaways.
Next. Are you done?
You got
are we
interrupted.
moving on?
You cut him
No,
off.
you cut me
You're the
off.
one that cut him off.
Let's see.
All right, lads, lead us off.
Well,
Sorry, Trevor.
I think that what he said. Yeah, seriously. The Avs are a good team. Everybody's predicting this series to go 6 to 7 games. They're at home. They got embarrassed. Not embarrassed, but they didn't play they wanted to. Their top players haven't been that good. Makar stepped up tonight. And it is what it is. I mean, this is why the playoffs are great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you expect guys to have effort like this, and you expect guys to have pride, especially in their building. They did. And Game 5 is back here in Dallas. Listen, they've taken home ice away. So Dallas has 2 of 3 games in their building. Am I right?
You are
my
right.
God,
It's a 3-game
you guys-
series.
This is
So-
great.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying they got it back to level. There you go. And Sean's going to explain the whole Jake Ottinger thing at some point here. So everybody needs to chill.
Well, and this was a must-win for Colorado. Not only did they, not only did they lose the Gabe Landeskog return, right? Like that was something that's a gut punch right there. They lose the Gabe Landeskog return, and then so they come back, and this is their chance to make up for that. Not only that, they lost all 3 to Dallas in this playoff series last year. So they've lost 4 straight playoff games coming in tonight against Dallas in the playoffs. This is a Colorado
4 straight
team
at home.
at home. Yes, at home.
And actually,
yes.
I did research today. It's 5 straight at Ball Arena going back to 2006 because you don't count the bubble playoffs because they weren't in Denver.
You're going to count playoff games from 2006 on this?
They had won
He
5.
goes back in the
Check
time.
his
I was
notepad.
17 years old then.
Hey,
I don't
Sean.
like,
Just listen to this. Dallas has won the
I could
last
do a whole
until
Bud Light
tonight.
right now by the time he's done
Yeah.
The
talking.
Stars had won 5 consecutive playoff games in the arena in Denver, which is currently Ball Arena.
okay, fair, but I'm not really worrying about 2006 games. I'm just this year and last year. They've lost 4 in a row
Fine.
at home to Dallas. They have this whole thing where they were supposed to have this big motivational win from Game 3 that they dropped the ball on in Ball Arena. There we go.
Thank you.
And now they have a big spot, a big opportunity where this was a must-win because if they lose this game, there's the chance where, who knows, maybe Miro Heiskanen comes back for Game 5 Monday, maybe not. And Dallas has a chance to close them out, and they never play. They guaranteed another game at home by winning tonight. You have to equate for that because this is an Avalanche team, as Trevor said, as Lud said. It's a very good team. They showed up tonight, so
I hope this isn't a panic move to bring Miro back if he's not 100% move. And again, the only reason I say that is because, like we talked about again in the pregame show, there's not 2 days in between games here. There's one. So we want to talk about getting that practice in with contact and all this other kind of stuff. Guys are going to come back tonight. They're not going to skate tomorrow. If they do, it'll be probably on their own. So Miro doesn't get that. He's not getting any game-like situations in a morning skate the day of. And maybe he's closer than we think. I'm not sure, but he hasn't gone through. Tyler had to go through the contact thing, which there is no contact in practice anyways. So who knows? So I hope that it's not because, as we've said, Miro's not going out there to play 12 or 13 minutes.
No.
And there is obviously it's an important player to the organization long term.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So when you guys have talked already about why Colorado needed this more. You've talked about why they were more urgent than Dallas. Dallas already got the home ice advantage. You mentioned that earlier about this was sort of playing with house money. But that's not how the Stars approached this game.
Right.
They wanted to win it. But Colorado needed to win this because if they go back to Dallas down 3-1, Stars have a chance to close them out at home. Not saying they would. You mentioned Miro Heiskanen. That's going to be a big talking point in the next 48 hours. Do the Stars need Miro Heiskanen to win Game 5?
no.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah. I don't think they need him to win the Game 5. No.
It would definitely help.
Yeah.
If he's ready.
A
Yeah.
healthy Miro.
Right.
Yeah. But just similar to Landeskog when he came back, when I say target, there's a different target today than there was before. Landeskog should have been targeted.
Mhm.
So you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying in a gentle kind of way. I would think that the Avs, as soon as Miro steps on the ice, they're going to circle his name. They're going to say, listen, the guy hasn't played in 2 months or 3 months, whatever it is. Got to be hard on him.
Every forecheck. Every forecheck. Every single forecheck.
And you know what? Yeah. And what you do is you soft chip it behind. Why am I giving them things? But not that like I'm not telling secrets.
You think Bednar and company are watching right now?
Well, they should. They would learn a lot.
I think right now, him and Joe Sakic post game, instead of doing their meeting, they're actually just watching us right now.
They got their headsets on and they're tuned in. But you would say let's soft chip it behind Heiskanen and let's get in and let's finish him. Let's make it difficult for him. Let's let him not get a groove into the game. Trevor, you were in that situation a couple times.
Well, and I would say do the same thing to Makar on the flip.
Yeah, but they can't catch him.
Well, they shouldn't be able to catch Heiskanen either. Obviously he's coming back from injury, so it's going to be a little bit slower. But
hey, listen, you're not supposed to disagree with me up here.
Actually, in fact,
I think that's what sons do. Right?
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
What kids do.
Be a contrarian. We'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so that's me. That's my job. When you look at the way the Stars started this game, and we'll do some more detailed breakdowns.
Oh boy.
No, seriously, when you go back and look at this game, you're going to think 4-0, it's a complete wash. I actually think they started quite well until they gave up the shorthanded goal. That was their problem. Thoughts?
I was in traffic.
I was at USA Sweden, so that was
Luds, it's your big moment.
I don't know if it was tilted one way or another. I would just say I think it was. I think with what the Avs did as the game went along, they didn't get to that stage until a little bit later, maybe towards the end of the period, then into the second they started to ramp it up, then ramp it up. So I don't know if I'd say this was all Dallas in the first period, but again, they knew what was going to come at them tonight. It was an Avalanche. I mean, they literally, as the game went along, and I think Avalanches start.
Thank you, John.
Well, I believe that they kind of start slow, right? You hear it crack, and then you hear some noise, and then all of a sudden you look up, and there's some snowballs starting to fall, and there's a little bit more snow. And then you know what happens when you get actually underneath an avalanche, and you don't know what direction you are because you can't see anything? You know what you do? You spit. You do, because your spit will go up. So you know which is up or down.
You know who you sound like?
Huh?
Grandpa. That's an old.
Grandpa, by the way, is dead 2 years ago. So I'm not sure that's what I sound like.
That's old wisdom.
Jesus, here's the grandpa. Yeah. Okay, next.
Some of the talking points in our pregame show included the fact that Pete DeBoer wanted to clean up their penalties because he said we can't continue to take the kind of penalties we've been taking against a Colorado team that hadn't done well on the power play in Game 3, but certainly had plenty of opportunities. They only had one. They scored on that one, but 3 penalties tonight. Hints for slashing in the first period, but that was a matching minors on a power play, actually. Then Marchment for elbowing. He didn't like that call at all as he caught Makar. And Trevor, you and I were talking during our watch-along about Makar overselling that play. And then Wyatt got called for roughing in the final 40 seconds of the game. Did they do a better job of penalties tonight?
Taking penalties or killing penalties?
Not taking as many as they've done in the first 3
Well, I mean,
games.
you got to understand that you can't really control what the refs are going to call. I think the Dallas penalty kill has been pretty solid all year.
Yeah. All year.
A lot of times when you're playing the game, you don't want to get focused on things you can't control. You can't control the refs.
But you can get a feel for them early in a game.
Yes.
You know, you can kind of get and sometimes you can go up to them and go, okay, so we're letting that go tonight? Okay, that's fine as long as we know how the game's going to be called.
Right. And if you're on the penalty kill and you have a great penalty kill, that's a motivation factor.
Yeah.
Play good on the penalty kill. It's going to transfer when you're 5-5, maybe again on the power play. That motivation is going to carry over. If
you did it again, you said
By the way, Sean I'm not trying to speak for Sean, but he might be laughing a bit because the other day your dad did the exact same thing about Sean using the word effectively.
Oh my God, that word. Because I'm not even sure what it means. I don't even know when to use it. I effectively have no idea when to put it into a sentence.
You actually used it properly.
I think that was good.
You did.
You're learning.
You did. That was an effective use.
If you think that was fun, just wait for our next segment here on the DLS Stars Post Game show with 2 times the Ludwig, 2 times the fun.
What's up, Stars fans? Nothing good. Enjoying the game should be easy. Not tonight, so don't overthink it. What to wear? I just read what they tell me to read here. Just put on your lucky jersey, put a different one on next game. Not sure what to serve your friends? That's even easier. Pick up some pizza, grab some Bud Light, and fill up the fridge. See, it's that easy. Just like Bud Light, which is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. We've clarified I do know what the 4 ingredients are.
We have.
Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, but remember, do it responsibly. Right, Trevor? 21 and over. Bud Light beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Thank you, Luds. Let's talk about the Lone Star Smokeout. Barbecue and country music. What's more Texas than that? My camera's over here. Lone Star Smokeout is coming to AT&T Stadium on May 2nd through the 4th. Try barbecue from 14 teams across the United States and decide for yourself who's really the champ. And if you think barbecue, I don't know about the two Ludwigs. I know Sean has become, because of his time in Texas, a huge, I would call you amateur barbecue enthusiast.
Yeah, amateur. I wouldn't go and say beyond that, but yes, barbecue is a slight passion. So.
Right, but you can pair all of those events that they have each day. There's that word again, Luds. Like Texas's biggest happy hour, Derby Day, and Cinco de Mayo a day early. Country's biggest stars like Cody Jinks, John Party, and Midland will all be performing. Stay tuned to DLLS for more information of our upcoming VIP ticket giveaway for each day of the Smokeout. Kids 10 and under get in free in general admission. Tickets start at just $68. Don't miss out. Get yours today at LoneStarSmokeout.com. Once again, that's LoneStarSmokeout.com.
Was it Midland, the performer at the Winter Classic? I'm sorry.
Back on the show.
Yeah.
Sean, the question.
Texas band.
Was it Midland, the performer at the Winter Classic?
I believe Dan and Shay was one of them.
Yeah, but like the national anthem, right?
No, I think Midland was part of the Winter Classic
because like that's the first time I think I've heard that name of that band in 5 years since 2020.
Oh, okay.
It shows how much country music you're into. Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So it's
all right. So this is the part where we take this and just heave it because it doesn't matter.
Toss it.
But I'm not going to because Trevor accused me of killing too many trees. So I do want to talk to you about that opening period because let's start with the shorthanded goal against. Logan O'Connor, who Luds has been very enamored with for good reason this series, scores shorthanded after creating a turnover from Thomas Harley. Take us through why that happened, why it could have been prevented.
Well, we're going to bring Sean in on this also, but in the beginning on the power play here, I think Thomas Harley, you can see he gets the puck here. He's got his partner or another partner on the other side of the ice. He tries to make a little move right here. Thomas needs to recognize this, just move the puck across the ice. It looks like it's Matt Duchene. I'm not sure in this clip, but regardless, he tries to make a little move, and this is where the stick comes into play, and it's off to the races going the other direction down to the end of the ice. Now, where I want to bring Sean in is this. Sometimes, like I said earlier, sometimes you just have to give credit to the shooter.
Yeah.
But Sean, here is where I would like you to explain Jake's position, what you were telling me about.
Yeah. So, and thank you for John for drawing the lines here that actually help with the visual here for those watching on our visual platforms, right? Not for those listening, but it's from a goalie perspective here. Jake is his job is to worry about the shot, right? Everything in Luds as a defenseman, right? You've played with goalies.
Which we don't see any in the picture.
Exactly, but there is a player. There is a player attempting to play defense.
Yes.
Isn't that Harley's silhouette at the very bottom corner?
No, that is.
Well, I think we see a forward playing a 2-on-1.
Yeah,
that's Duchene.
That's the point.
But from Jake Ottinger's perspective and the goalie perspective here, you need to play the shot. You need to trust that the guy back checking is going to take away the pass here. And you can see now there's a quick head check here, and that's okay to do that. But Jake plays this like he's expecting the pass. And when he does that, he opens himself up a little bit more on the stick side. He's going to load up on the one leg a little bit more, and it opens up more. This is not on Jake. This goal isn't on Jake, but this is a save selection process where you have a goalie here where looking at this evidence right here doesn't trust that he can focus on just the shot. And Luz and I, you and I were talking, there's a goalie perspective here, and there's also a 84 games of evidence here.
There you go.
Where
He's been programmed to believe he has to do a couple different things.
He thinks he needs to get, so like it's the right leg is loaded up for the push across, and Logan O'Connor effectively goes right. There he goes.
There it is.
Ding, John, ding. And he goes against the grain right into the space given to him. So great play by O'Connor here. And it's, yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question about a goalie?
Yeah.
Please.
Are they teaching goalies now to start on the right side and then push over to kind of bait the shooter?
Yeah, now it's
so giving them an area, right?
There's a little bit of the chess match. It's not as much with the legs. There's a little bit more with the hand positioning, where you'll see sometimes it happens more often with the glove hand, where you'll see the goalie might hold the glove a little lower, I'm trying to get the guy to shoot high glove because I can bring that up easy.
Right.
So it doesn't happen as much on the stick side, but there is a bit of that chess match now where you're trying to, with NHL level shooters, you have to guess a little bit. As much as anyone wants to pretend that the human body is quick enough to catch up to that fast of a shot, there is a chess match of guessing. Like I spoke to Jake about it. I think it was before it was on Sunday, so it's been 6 days ago now. But we were talking about kind of this whole thing where you know what various shooters do, you know what Nathan MacKinnon does, you know what this, and so you have to kind of predict a little bit and put yourself in a position where your reflexes get a little bit of an edge. And he didn't give himself that edge here. This is one where he overly worries about the pass here. And if they make the pass and that goal beats him, no one's upset at all, right? That's a 2-on-0 and that's not his fault.
On the defender.
Exactly. So this is a place where as a goalie, he needs to basically say, okay, I'm taking away the shot. I'm treating it like a breakaway. If the second one comes in, that's not
I'll try my best.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to go down completely off the rails here again. On Netflix, I watched nothing new. Yeah, I watched the show about the Red Sox. Right? I don't know if anybody's watched it, but okay.
Red Sox fans here and here, John.
So anyways, in I don't know, episode 2 or 3, they were showing pitchers and they were sitting there with the catchers, right? Yeah. And they're breaking down every runner, what runners do when they take off and all this other kind of, you can catch them here or there. Yeah. Do goaltenders have something similar to that and I'm talking about a list of players, or do they just know the top end shooters?
There's more of a mental book. It's not.
You're supposed to say good question.
Yeah, it is a great question. And there's more of a
Baseball,
mental book,
hockey.
And there's more of a mental book to it. So for example, with MacKinnon, I was talking to Jake about this with MacKinnon. Everyone knows that MacKinnon loves to shoot through that space between the defenders. In the triangle they call it. Yeah, the triangle right there between the skate blade and the foot. So with MacKinnon, you know when he cuts across there, you're almost tensing for the shot a little bit quicker because you know he likes to shoot through that space. Right. It's you build it out, and it's there's some guys, some of the top guys, you know exactly what they're going to do. It is from a goalie perspective, and Jake and I were talking a little bit about this, where there's kind of the challenge sometimes. Younger players and players that don't have as established of a record, they can surprise you a little bit more. And that's why sometimes you'll see a guy comes into the league, like I think in the classic Stars example, I think of Alex Chiasson, right? Alex Chiasson comes into the league and scores what?
6 or 7 goals right away.
6 or 7 goals right away in his time with Dallas.
No, near do I.
And then Alex Chiasson never became a goal scorer.
Oh, we're going to keep hearing about Alex Chiasson. Yeah,
but
no idea who.
I was just using a Dallas Stars example, Luds, okay? But it's the whole point of once you kind of learn the league also learns you. From a goalie perspective, Andrew Raycroft's the best example. Andrew Raycroft wins the Calder Trophy as the Rookie of the Year because no one knows what Andrew Raycroft's tendencies are. Everyone learned Andrew Raycroft's
speaking John Andersen's language right now.
Everyone learns Andrew Raycroft's tendencies. And then after that, he kind of just fell off because he never adjusted. Right. So it's just this kind of this swinging pendulum for a goalie perspective. And Jake knows with Colorado, he knows what a lot of guys are going to do. Logan O'Connor
But don't those shooters know that Jake knows what you're going to do?
Yes, no, and that's
that goes back to the chess match.
Yeah, it's the chess match. It's the whole thing. So Jake has an idea of, okay, I know what Logan O'Connor might do here, and so this is a credit to Logan O'Connor on the goal. Also, Jake didn't put himself in the best position to win the battle. Both things can be true.
Okay, the second
Bing
goal.
bong.
No, we're not doing bing bongs yet. Although I do have a word from Central Command. He wants us to try to keep it to an hour tonight. So we're going to have a rapid fire super chat because we're already piling up.
There we go.
Sam's going to join us in our next segment. Let's talk about the second goal. Do you guys believe that was a penalty on Mason Marchment that led to the MacKinnon power play goal end of the first period?
I would need a replay.
Yeah, I would need. I mean, from what I saw on it, it was. I have a hard time with that one being called the way it was, just with how they didn't call other things. Like what we said, we talked about the Stars only taking 3 penalties, right?
We talked about this before Sean got here.
Yeah,
he does not get the benefit of the doubt from referees.
Here's the best way to sum it up. If you're a Dallas Stars fan, no. If you're an Avs fan, yes.
Yeah.
That's how
that's
50-50 it is.
Yeah.
Anything on the MacKinnon goal? On the power play?
Well,
one-timer to the post.
There is. Mm-hmm. And, John, can we go back to the pregame one clip? Here's what Dallas was doing as far as on the power play for the Avs. They were taking MacKinnon out of the equation. They're going to make sure this guy does not get the puck. Now you go back, and here's another one where this is a second example where they rotate a little bit. This is MacKinnon down on the goal line. We're fine with him being there, and we're going to let him shoot from there, which he did on this clip. Now what happens here, a little Ovechkin-ish, right? So this is, you look, and we're not in the same spot. MacKinnon can score from just about anywhere. This spot, we've seen him score. I believe this is the third goal from this spot, right? One in the first game. One went through Jake's legs.
1, 2, and 4. He didn't score in game 3.
Yes.
So, and again, I think Jake has to respect where the puck was initially, because I think I don't know if this was a one-timer. I can't even remember. It was a one-timer.
Yes, it was.
One-timer here.
Yeah. So Jake has to respect where the puck came from, and by the time he gets across, it ends up ultimately, I don't know, and Sean, I'm going to say, is he tight coming across because it sneaks between the body and
I have a hard time with. I have a hard time putting. This is one of the.
This is a 120-point guy.
This is the best, one of the best players in the world, hitting a prime area shot. I have a hard time applying anything.
Yeah, it's hard to pick them apart.
Yes. And you also got threats everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
You got to respect.
You
got to respect so many players on the ice when they're on their power play. I mean, you can't just take MacKinnon away.
Well, what you do, I think what you do is you take the lesser of a few evils away, and if you can, they have never been able to figure it out 845 goals later with Ovi. Yes. But I think what you do, I think, again, I played the game with tendencies. I know where people like to be, and I'd rather take that away and make them go someplace else. If you can get him to give it to Natchez, who has not been where he would want to be, if you can take MacKinnon away. But again, it's a power play. That's more 5-on-5
on that particular play. If I were to be critical about a goalie, which I never do, there was never really a fake shot up top.
By the way, which goalies did you have when you guys won champion? You had like Tornado.
Riley Gill.
And
are you talking about Al?
Yeah. Al.
Are you trying to refer to somebody?
I'm just seeing if you remember, because everybody thinks I have a hard time. I think it's in the family.
Could be.
Okay. All right. Next.
But good. No. Okay.
Bing bong.
So, no, we're not doing bing bongs yet. Second period. Stars got caved in. Shots were 22-5. Those are shots on goals.
What were they?
22-5.
It's a good thing you were tracking them. I'd have never known that.
And the scoring chances, it was 10-12. It was 12-10 Colorado in the first. It was 35-15 Colorado after 2 periods of play.
That's kind of taking the game over.
They took the game over. The long change, Stars got stuck in their zone. They had a couple of really long defensive zone shifts. And then Gabe Landeskog scored his first goal since the comeback in his second game. And we have about 2 minutes or less on this part, because I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on Girard's third period goal. Thoughts on the Landeskog goal? He wired that thing home, but why is he so wide open?
Well, my problem is where you see the puck right here. It's at center ice, and look where the defensemen are. They're already inside their zone. And so it creates a gap. And really, your gap doesn't start going back. Your gap starts getting up the ice. So, and what I mean by that is the play is moving north towards the other end of the rink. Defenseman got to get up. And then your gap starts going back. It doesn't. And then here's the other part is we talked about this in the pregame show, and we show some examples how Dallas is doing a better job taking away that high danger area. This one, not so much, but I would also say this is from distance for me a little bit. So it's just below the top of the circle. But again, I'm not sure this should go in, Sean.
Yeah, it's one of those that's a tough one to. It's tough to pick at Jake in this game, because this game could have been 8-rip.
Yeah.
Right. Like this game.
Fatigue sets in.
Yeah,
at a certain point, right?
And so Leslie, here, guys, real quick, is it the right decision? We'll go to Sean first. Right decision to pull Ottinger for the third period and allow Casey DeSmith to mop up here in the final 20?
I'm saying yes because, and Lud said yes on the live stream as well, because one of two things happens: either Casey DeSmith sparks a incredible comeback, which didn't happen, or you basically let Jake kind of get ready for Game 5. So I think it's the right decision.
Buds,
you ever watch the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson?
Oh yeah.
You know the show that he did, Karnak?
Mm-hmm. With the big...
and he pulled it out because he knew what was coming, what was happening. Yeah. I think that the coaching staff recognized that the Avalanche was coming downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And for many different reasons, they maybe made that decision.
Trevor, same thing?
Yeah, nothing wrong with the mental break.
Remember Karnak?
No, that's way before
Well, you're like
time.
5 years younger than I am, so that'd be tough for you to watch Night Show back in the day.
Your references are out of control. Everyone knows that.
Why are we listening to somebody
That's
else
the
talking?
drop where it says sick references. That's for when Lutz brings up a reference from like 35, 40 years ago.
From 1920.
I haven't heard that one before.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Play it again, John, just in case.
Sick reference, though, bro. Oh, thanks, bud. Dude, your references are out of control. Everyone knows that.
Sick reference, bro.
I apparently need to start paying attention more.
I guess.
Up next, let's talk to Sam from Denver. We've got some things and some bones to pick about with our intrepid beat reporter next year in the DLS Stars Post Game Show.
Intrepid Sam.
I got this one. Pay attention, Trevor.
Okay.
This could be you someday.
How many ums?
The cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts and mobility as you start to age. The patent ingredient is MitoPure. That's MitoPure, a postbiotic nutrient that clears our dysfunctional mitochondria. That's your cell's battery packs. You never thought I'd get through that, did you?
No.
With regular use, you'll see the difference in the form of improved energy levels and faster recovery. MitoPure is the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level and also delivers a double-digit increase in muscle strength and endurance without a change in exercise. That reminds me, Ben, I need another free bottle. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DLLS today to get started.
Thanks, Luds. Well done.
Nailed that, Trevor.
Who would have ever thought you learned how to read?
Nailed that.
Let's talk about Game Time. Game Time is the perfect place for you to find tickets for your favorite sporting event, theater show, comedy, stand-up. How about live concerts? All of those things are available. Go to the website, gametime.co, or download their app. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite teams playing live even easier, or all the other things I just listed. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can use their curated deals to find them quickly. You can go to and look at your seat views ahead of time. You can also use the all-in pricing feature, which means you don't get surprised by fees at checkout. It shows you the all-in price when you're selecting them, including maybe going to Game 5 at American Airlines Center. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Use Game Time Picks, download the app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Hey, Luds, what time is it?
Trevor, what time is it?
Game time.
Yes, the double Ludwig. Time for us to do the sleeper leaderboard. And John, are we still under protest right now with the sheer number that Jeff Wilson has in first place versus ours? Thank you. Perfect. I don't know I don't know what the accounting is. I'm not sure how it is. Obviously, baseball has a lot more games, but there seems to be the fix-in because there are 3 teams that are all pretty close, and then the Rangers are like 2-1 ahead of everybody else. I smell something fishy going on.
Sam
here.
is not doing well, huh?
Poor Sam.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Sam did that on purpose. That's a good record right there.
let's say hi to
It is.
to
It's
Sam
a nice record.
Sam, I want you to look at the screen. Boy, did you take some heat on Twitter tonight with this posting at 10:10 p.m. Central Time.
Oh, did I? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain this tweet? Wait, y'all.
Yeah,
I meant so the first one, for those listening later, Sam tweeted out, Jake Ottinger laid an egg. Then he quote tweeted later, wait, y'all. I'm reading this for the audio listeners. I meant he literally, all caps, looked like he laid an egg when the puck squeaked through and landed behind him. Ottinger has by far been the best star in this game. Come on. And boy, did you learn a lesson about tweeting too much, as everybody responded to you after that. Did you learn anything?
I learned to include video when I try to make a joke because people see that 20 minutes after what happened and they don't realize what it's about. So from now on, if there's anything, plus I forgot that laid an egg also was a bad thing. I just wasn't thinking about it. I thought it was funny. Me and Leah were laughing about that puck. So I would apologize, but fans apologize to me after I cleared it up. So we'll just call it square.
I would suggest if you are going to try to joke on Twitter, use #sarcasm because that's the only way you can be clear. It's like the sarcasm sign. Hold it up. By the way, speaking of bagging on Sam, I'd like you to meet Trevor Ludwig. Trevor, former professional hockey player. This is Sam. Look at that picture.
We got a hockey card.
Look at that picture.
What, did you play for the St. Louis Blues? And what jersey is that?
That was
like
I don't
Klingberg.
know where that was from. That must have been a
Sam, do you see Providence College? He was a Friar.
I know. That's what's even more embarrassing.
Sam's a big Hockey East guy, too.
The Ludwig sons were hockey college players. That's where I should have really called
it. Hey, it just falls in line, Sam. All college educated.
Right? All 4 of them.
You wouldn't believe it after this podcast.
Well, I wouldn't say all 4 of them. I didn't quite make it to the end of the line.
But you won a national title for North Dakota.
Well, yeah, that's all that matters.
Twice, right?
Oh,
well,
2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 2.
Yeah, I didn't win the what's the award you get when you graduate? What's that thing called?
Scholar Athlete.
Award? You mean like you get to flip your tassel?
Well,
what's the award?
Yeah, degree.
That would be called a bachelor's degree.
On Tuesday this week, we had a great conversation
award.
about GPAs and what you had at with.
Yeah, I had a .08 my first semester.
Attaboy. You know, you have
That's
to work
pretty good.
pretty hard to get a GPA that low.
No, you do nothing.
But that's
just
hard.
don't
It means
go.
you
go to
don't
practice. That's it.
You don't go to class.
But then I got.
You don't do the work.
You know what my classes were after that?
Test.
Coach signed up. I had
Gym.
billiards. I had bicycle touring. I had football coaching, baseball coaching.
Underwater basket weaving.
Nope, they didn't have that. That's not a real thing.
No, that's an
I had
advanced that's like a
audio-visual
300 level.
Just so you know, I had an audio-visual course. John.
Movies.
That's where I get it from.
That's why you were pressing all those buttons.
So when you graduated, quote unquote, did you know how to plug in a VCR?
He didn't graduate.
Yeah, I didn't come close to it. They actually told me you're turning pro. We have nothing left for you to take.
And I can't rip on Luds right now because my senior year of college, I took classes like curling. I had
bowling in college.
I had bowling. I had bowling 1 and 2.
Yeah, I took curling. I took hockey, where we just
broom
played.
ball. I taught a broom ball.
And then I also took jazz, where the instructor.
Well, I didn't
played,
go that far.
No.
I ain't taking no jazz.
No, you'll enjoy this.
You did ballerina.
You'll enjoy this.
I did ballerina as a kid.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
is that why you have such good balance?
What? No, my mom had me.
Yeah.
It didn't make you a better
Tap dance or
skater,
whatever.
though.
Probably.
That's what I mean. Balance, flexibility,
I
right?
took piano lessons too, and I played the cornet. So
There you go.
There you
Cornet.
go. Well-rounded.
very
lives.
versed in life.
I
Sam,
had the.
hold on.
I'm cutting you off right now.
You go for it.
It's
easier
Luds will
in
enjoy
person.
this. So I took the jazz class, and the instructor played every Wednesday night at a bar. And so he said anyone who showed up to his performance on Wednesday nights at the bar, you would get a passing grade for that week. So I just went every Wednesday night for jazz class. I went to watch my instructor play and drink some beers. So
there you go.
That's arguably worse
That's
than
the
school.
class you needed to go to, Les.
Now he's effectively one of the best writers around.
Effectively.
It is. This is. Yes, do not.
We talked.
We're not going to talk about my.
You also, Sam. I'm not excluding you. I'm just saying.
My GPA was not
Effectively.
too high above what Luds' was. So it's the.
According to Jordan, one of our diehards, she said, I once had a lower GPA than Luds. Then I finished grad school with a 4.0. Sometimes you just don't want to go to school.
Exactly.
There
Smart.
you go.
And in North Dakota, it's so damn cold walking around. Why would you want to leave? Leave your.
That's right.
house.
Why would you want to go outside? All right, Sam, let's talk shop for a minute. Thoughts, post-game reaction. What's the feel after a 4-0 loss in Game 4 out in Denver?
Yeah, I'll just go right to what the team and Coach Pete DeBoer said, because I'm sure you guys have already gone over all the thoughts that I have. But it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of, first of all, it was very quick. They are ready to get home and go play some Game 5 on home ice. But there's a lot of disappointment, and it's unfortunate we couldn't figure out a way to stop the Avalanche, as Lud's just used an excellent pun, because that's
shot, please,
the key
John.
in the. that's the key in the playoffs is to, you might get outplayed for a long stretch of time, but you have to be able to stop the bleeding, and they just couldn't do it tonight. Once the momentum switched, it was downhill for 40 straight minutes. So disappointment they weren't able to do that, especially because of how good Jake was. It's tough to waste a good performance like that with 0 goals and all the firepower that you have. And when you look at it, Stars have not scored in this series, and that we've talked about up 2-1 despite basically never leading. They're not scoring a lot. You look at the plus minus of each teams, and it looks like the Stars are down 3-0 in the series. It's not out of the realm to say they were lucky to be up 2-1, and probably are pretty happy to be in this series 2-2 heading back home, especially coming in without Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson. But the other side of it that I thought was interesting, Pete said, we got to turn the page, and Matt Duchene specifically said that momentum doesn't carry like people think it does into different games. Because if you look at, you win a game, it's one thing, but you win a game like this and you're dominant and everyone's feeling good. You're scoring 4 goals. Landeskog's the first star. The crowd's going crazy. You feel like that would carry a team. And sure, Colorado's going to feel good about themselves, but Matt Duchene said that just doesn't carry like that. You turn the page as soon as that game ends and you start looking forward. And he said, we felt great after game 2, and game 3 was a tough game. We felt great and confident after game 3, and we came out and performed like this. So for Dallas, that's kind of the positive of it, I guess, is to look at the fact that the score doesn't matter. You've seen teams give up 8 or 7 goals in this playoffs already, and they come back and they win the next game. So that's the mindset for Dallas here, is to turn the page. But I listened in on Jared Bednar as well after Pete spoke, and he feels really good about how they've played. He believes that they have competed in these games. They've played very well. He thinks they deserved better than losing those 2 games, and that the margin of error, as we spoke about in pregame, was just razor thin, and they just didn't get the extra goal when they needed it. To me, if I'm a Dallas fan, something needs to elevate, and not just because of this game, but if you look at this series, Colorado's been the better team. I think that's a fair point to say. Dallas has now has 2 games on home ice to flip that script and just be the team that played better for I'm trying to think of what periods, the 3rd period of that overtime win, the 40 minutes of that other game, just to impose their will for longer stretches and not keep this line so thin. Give yourself 3 goals, 4 goals like they did in the one game, to give yourself a little bit of room on the other end, so it's not one bounce turning the game around.
Trevor, I wanted to kind of throw this to you. You've been in series, I'm sure, where you lose 1, but when you lose the game 2-1, 3-2, or whatever, it's kind of easy to be like, we just do the same thing the next time, right? Isn't there now you never want to lose a game, but isn't there something too from a player perspective where you got your butt kicked, now all of a sudden you go into game 5 and like, okay, we're gonna spin this the other way? Like, I'm not just trying to look for silver linings, but isn't there some reality to that where losing this way, no one can get on the flight tomorrow and think and feel happy about game 5, right?
No, I mean, you're not going to feel happy about losing. At the same time, I mean, I understand that if you lose a game 4-0, 5-0, 7-0, or you lose it 2-1. In playoffs, it's wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you got to win 4 games. Yeah, I can see that Colorado says we should have won game 3. We should have won game 4. And the tides could have turned. But at the end of the day, right now, it's 2-2. It's a 3-game series now. And I like...
By the way, everybody's watching Lud slowly move his way around the set. Keep going, Trevor.
Yes. At this point, it's a 3-game series.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 games at home for the Stars. Move on. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's try to capitalize on the opportunities that they had. And tomorrow's the next day.
Hey, Sam, we have like a couple minutes left. I would push back on Bednar a little bit. I understand the sentiment is you've won 2 games where you've had a pretty lopsided final score. Game 1 was certainly closer than 5-1 suggested. Tonight was, to me, closer in the first period, and then it got out of hand after that. They lost the special teams battle the opening 20 minutes, and then they kind of got pushed down the road the rest of the way. But I understand why Bednar says what he says. We've got 2 wins where we've scored some goals and 2 losses where we lost in overtime. We could have won the series in 4. that's not the truth of this series. These are two really good teams. Even game one was razor thin, and then they got a couple goals late. So to me, if Jared Bednar is pushing that narrative, I think that's dangerous to almost give a little bit of complacency. Now, Colorado's going to be feeling very good after this game, but that doesn't mean that that's going to help them at all in game 5.
No, you're right. And I think both coaches said it this morning after morning skate that they basically came into this, you want to win the series in 4, obviously. You want to win it in 5 or 6. You don't want it to go the distance. But both coaches fully understood that this was probably going to game 7. And Pete DeBoer even said after morning skate, it may take till overtime game 7 to decide between these two teams. So I'm agreeing with you 100%. This series has been even in terms of the overall play. I just feel, for me personally, Dallas hasn't controlled enough for me. I think that the leading thing is a good, storyline up 2-1, despite a minute, 2 seconds or something like that they've led in the series, but it's not a recipe for winning this series either. You can't just continue to not score first and trail after the first period, trail after the second period, and expect to win 4 out of 7. They may do it, but to me, that's just not a way to live and try to go win 1 series and then 4 series against, arguably the best teams in the NHL. The other side of it, and I still told Mike Heika, you can't feel bad because it's the NHL. You don't feel bad for any of these teams. They all have to go against some sort of adversity. But part of me just feels for this team like it just is such a bummer that the team plays so well in the regular season, finishes top 5 in the NHL or whatever, and then just has to play 3 Western Conference finals. And I know Sean's a big believer on this, and I agree with it. You're going to have to beat those teams. But we saw last year in the playoffs how much it took out of them to beat those 2 teams before they got to Edmonton. And I just hope that's not the case. Obviously, focus on this series right now, but I just hope it's not the case where their path is too stacked against them, where they're a great team capable of making it far, but they're just going to have to get beat up and beat up and beat up. But right now, they're going to have to get beat up, and they're going to hope to get maybe a little bit of help back in Dallas in game 5.
And I would push back a little bit on this doesn't help Colorado come in here at all. It does, unless Dallas takes it away from them. Because, again, I talk about momentum. They've got momentum coming here, and along with they know that they can win in Dallas because they did. Yep. So they found a way to win in Dallas. They get the last game at home, so they have a little bit of feeling good about themselves coming in here. And I think the Stars have to just make sure that in the first 5 minutes you get rid of that feeling that they may have. And I see John give me the finger, not that finger, but a different finger.
Give you a lot.
Finger that's a different finger and wants me to shut that finger. Well, Sam, look at how crooked that one is.
Sam, I think the most important thing is you have a safe and uneventful return trip tomorrow because we don't want another repeat of game 3 on whatever day that was, Wednesday.
My hope is that I leave at 6
Best
a.m.
of luck.
If I get back by the time Pete does his media at 1, I'll be happy.
All right. Well, Sam, travel safe. Thanks for joining us. Up next, a jam-packed Super Chat lightning round here on the DLS Stars Post Game Show. All right, let's talk about being a diehard. $36 intro offer is not only limited time, it might not be available tomorrow. I know it's been since last week for the NFL draft. It might be active tomorrow, but we don't know. And if it is, you'll miss out on your chance. If you've been on the fence of signing up to be a diehard, you absolutely need to do it before that introductory offer is gone. Trevor can show you where that QR code is. Right at the bottom. See, look, he's a natural.
There it is.
Piece of cake. He's been initiated on DLS Stars coverage by showing you the QR code. Luds and Sean and Sam have all done it, but look at that.
Oh, I was taking a picture of it.
He can just scan it, get it done. And if they're, look, see, the other guys can do it too.
Here we go.
He's just playing with you now. Who can say?
There we go.
That will take you to the All DLS website, alldlls.com. Sign up to be a diehard.
Natural.
And in doing so, you can get a free DLS t-shirt of your choice. Use it today if you sign up, or you can even hold on to that free t-shirt until the one that you want comes back available, or a new one that hasn't even been conceived of yet. There's the Moose shirt. You've got the Captain shirt. You have the Finnish Mafia shirt. All sorts of DLS options to choose from. They're extremely comfortable. I highly recommend that. Plus, you get all the access to the writing that Sean and Sam do. Plus, don't forget, Clarence Hill, Joe Hoyt with the Cowboys. They just had a huge 3-day draft extravaganza. Luds is still upset about the catering situation between Cowboys and Stars. We'll get into that later. And
wait, they get food?
Joe Hoyt, well, for the draft they did. Not Joe Hoyt. Jeff Wilson for the Rangers. Tim Cato with the Mavs, all doing great writing. Discord channel, discounts to membership, merchandise, events. When we do events like the Cosm trip we have some other stuff lined up down the road. And of course, the community, the diehard Discord is crazy. Everybody seems to be having a lot of fun in there. Sign up today to get access to all of that right here on DLS. And of course, it helps support us as well. All right.
Are you talking about the happy hour food?
That's what I was talking about.
They got
a
food?
little disappointed.
I knew you were.
Because they just got theirs, but that's the draft. We're in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
We should have a big buffet in
Playoffs.
We should have a pizza right now. There should be a pizza on this
Well,
table.
Happy Hour has that big. They have that
There
big
is cold pizza in
Happy
the
Hour
fridge.
H pretzel, big giant soft pretzel in the shape of the H's of their logo, which there's the logo right at the bottom of the screen down
What type
there.
of pizza do we have in the fridge?
I think it's been there for about a week, so I don't know if I would recommend. Night one. Oh, so Thursday night. Okay. All right.
I have
Let's
no
get
idea
into
how
it,
long
guys.
Thursday
Ben said if you guys get off in 10 minutes, you got a full buffet.
That's not what he said.
All right, we're done.
There's no. Did he really?
I think so.
Where?
It was in the chat. In the
What?
Bing Bong thing.
He was in the Bing Bong thing.
Yeah.
All right,
There you
guys.
go.
Bing bong.
Let's get to it.
Fastest 9 minutes in
Christian,
sports.
Mackinnon 99. Saw lots of complaints about Makar dividing on the Marchment penalty. I think
Diving.
he's diving. Well, yeah, I'm reading. Look, it's like Ron Burgundy here. Sold it, yes, but 27. Thank you, Trevor. But 27 has taken egregious and flat out dumb penalties all series. Young Mr. Ludwig.
Okay.
Oh, you mean me?
Well, you do have a youthful glow about you.
I do.
So what does he mean by egregious penalty? Because he's diving.
Definition of
Because
that
he's
word?
diving?
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Is that what he's referring
Do you
to?
not actually know
I
what
think
egregious
he's
means?
saying that
I do know what egregious.
Oh, okay.
I think he's saying that with Mason Marchment, we've said this before, he's an extremely high event player. You're going to
Well, it
get bad
follows you
penalties,
around.
and you're just going to draw penalties.
Yeah. It follows you around. That's all I'm saying.
No benefit of the doubt.
Does that mean
You don't
next
get
one?
to finish your
Okay.
comment around.
You got to
Never
go
mind.
fast in this one.
Yep.
Too far with a Madonna and a 99 cup here. Do y'all think that Miro comes in for game 5? Is Mush becoming a liability? Does the loss concern you from a locker room standpoint? Was Beck holding everything together?
No to all. No to
Good.
all.
Good.
Yeah.
No to all.
There you go.
Bing bong.
Christian with another Heiskanen at 99. Is 96 too reserved? Talking about Rantanen. I wish he would take over, run people over, always want the puck, and create dangerous plays or score himself. Need more personality.
He's not that kind of player.
But
He
he's
doesn't
still
run
trying to
people over.
find himself on this team, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It takes time, but he's not the kind of guy that runs people over in his career. You know what I mean? Yes, he's 6'5" or whatever he is, a big dude, but I wouldn't say don't expect him to run people over, but it does give you a little bit of juice when he does bump into a few people.
He's a power forward that uses his size to take space.
And he
It's
does-
not to,
Yeah.
to
He does it to
initiate
protect
contact.
the
Yes.
puck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Next one.
Bing bong.
We go
We're getting
to
rushed here, Trevor, with our answer.
Urethra Franklin with a
Aretha Franklin.
No, urethra.
Oh, that's
With
that's a body part.
A Lundqvist and a year after the cup. We started using 00 as the year Lud's retired, but he didn't like that. So year after the
I'm
cup.
very tired.
Did you guys know that Landeskog hasn't played hockey in 3 years?
whoa, really? Next one.
Thank you. Sean
Bing bong.
falling into the Stewie Griffin laugh. Michael Moore with a Heiskanen 99. Confused so the Avs can win 4-0, but the Stars can't. So they are better? If we have to win 2-1 games, that's going to be hard.
Word.
Also, last time I checked,
I
they
like
count
that.
games, not
Everybody
aggregate
relax.
score.
with the
Yeah.
whole-
Yeah, they call wins.
It doesn't like
2-2.
this.
Yeah.
So if you're a golfer,
Yeah.
this is like match play, not stroke play. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you lose a hole by 9 shots. It's 1.
It's all about winning games.
We're
Yes.
golfers.
You
It's
guys
all
are big
about
time
winning
golfers.
games.
Oh,
Well,
man.
we
right?
like golfing.
2-time champs.
Oh,
Right
geez.
here.
2-time.
Andy Young one. 2-time champs.
By the way, before we get to the next Bing Bong, Luds, my older son had a FC Dallas game out in Carrollton today.
This is not helping our
There's-
9 minutes.
That's okay.
Bing
Hold on.
goes, and they blame us.
Trust me, you'll like
Bing
this.
bong.
We drove by baseball fields, and there was a men's
soccer
adult
game that broke out?
men's adult softball game going on that we drove by. There were a couple RVs that these look serious, and they had an L screen in front of the pitcher. Is
Oh.
that a thing you ever played with when you played softball? Like,
No.
as in, don't line it into the pitcher.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're pitching BP stuff like that.
No, this was the game. It looked like.
What age?
They were our age, somewhere between 40
Protecting
and
the
70.
pitchers.
This is a large gap. By the way, from Reed Thomas,
I'm
Super
not even
Chat,
gonna go off on that
$4.99.
one.
I'm just telling you,
Thanks,
he would
Luds.
do it.
Bednar
I
is
thought it was a
watching the
stretch when
show
the
and knows
pitchers
how to
started
attack
wearing
Miro now.
face
How do we
masks.
get Wyatt and Duchesne more involved?
How do we get Wyatt and Duchesne more involved?
That's on them. Well, I listen. The very last shift of Wyatt of the game, that was Wyatt.
Yeah.
That was Wyatt. Now Duchesne, why are
Well,
you laughing at?
he's gonna bring heat on himself, which is good.
I'm not laughing
Right?
at what you said. There's another super chat that's to you, and it's very funny.
Perfect.
By the way,
Bing
Trevor, don't be afraid to throw an elbow at your dad if you need to jump in. Don't let him just dominate your. Yeah, I look at him. He's like, that's not going to happen.
I'm the king of elbows.
I believe it. Sharp and ever. Jordan with a Heiskanen 99.
Solani?
Yep.
This game wasn't fun. I don't get all the doom and gloom. We took one from him in Denver, and that's significant. Now we go home to Dallas. Go Stars.
Bing bong.
Exactly.
There we go.
Get that and print it and put it on the beginning of our next show.
Talk hockey with me with a DeSmith and 99 Cup here. Also, Marchment was a whole punching bag tonight.
What? Marchment's all over the place right now with the fans.
By the way, when we were talking with AJ from the DMVR show, he literally
Everybody
said that
loved him on the
Marchment
play that
is
he made
like
the other
enemy
night
number
to Tyler
one.
Seguin.
Yeah.
From a Avalanche fan perspective, he's the one they hate the most.
That's good. It's good to be hated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Bing
almost like a
bong.
Marchand in
Exactly.
Boston. Well, not
Go
in
down the
Boston
list
anymore.
of players.
D. Hendo with a Oscar Beck in year after the Cup, who the FAK is in charge of the Stars website. Why does it take forever for them to put post-game interviews up? Every other team has them up in 15 minutes. Sometimes ours are not posted till the next day. WTF?
That sounds like a Sean.
That sounds like a Sean question.
I mean, we just had Victory Plus on the TV over there, and they had it going right after the game. So I don't know.
It's a website thing.
It's a website thing.
I don't know.
Can we
Sorry,
blame Sam or no?
Hendo, but by
We
the
could
way,
blame Sam. Let's blame
keep
Sam.
an eye
This
on
is
the
Sam's
DLLS
fault.
Stars
it sounds like
Twitter
it's a
page,
tech question.
because
You
when
want me
we
to
get
handle that one?
those, we put them up from our guys.
Bing bong.
Reed Thomas with a DeSmith 99. Who wins Game 5/ the series? John?
I picked Stars in 7, so I'm going to
I
stick with
also
that.
did. Trevor?
I like the Stars at home. I think
Game 5?
who wins Game 5? Yeah, I think the Stars win Game 5, and
It'll be 4-1, empty netter. Jake does his thing again. And Wyatt will get a goal.
Yeah, I like it.
Bing bong.
No homers here. Burned Oils with a Brendan Smith in year after the Cup. Lud's a finisher. He finishes his checks, chicks, and pudding.
He's going to finish his chicks.
Do we have
Okay,
pudding
keep
dro-
going.
Do we have pudding drop too?
I don't know where the
bong.
pudding came
Yeah.
from, but why not? This is the one I was laughing at. This is Jordan Talk Hockey with me with a Heiskanen 99. I moved to rename, it's a hat trick one, by the way. I moved to rename the Super Chat segment to the Bing Bong thing in honor of Luds.
I agree.
Bing Bong thing.
It's
Makes
a
sense.
Bing bong thing. I don't know. I don't even know where the Bing bong soundbite comes from.
Yes, you've had the scoreboard up.
Yep.
That's
We know what
okay.
the score
This
was.
KP's, hey,
Yeah, can we get the score out of there?
We gotta make
For
sure people
God's
don't
sakes?
forget.
Move it.
Yeah.
So
What?
What?
John is talking to himself with a microphone that's not plugged
no
in.
idea what's going on right now.
Believe it or not, guys, we were so worried about getting through our Super Chats in the allotted time, because we usually take our time, that we went so fast, we still have 3 minutes left on the show, and we can't, what's that? 2 minutes, and we can't end early. So
John's going, nope, 2
Yep,
minutes.
2 minutes. No, we're doing just fine. John will let us know when we're done. So to me, I ask you guys the final question, which is, aside from the roller coaster of emotions, should the Stars feel confident coming back for Game 5?
I mean, emotions come with playoffs. And I think a lot of these players on both sides know how to deal with these emotions. It's going to happen. It's one game at a time. Let's not panic mode. It was Game 4. There's still 3 games left. We have the home ice advantage. Everything's going to be fine. Let's worry about Monday.
The sky is
I don't know if
falling.
there's any more cliches out there. Should they feel? Yeah, I mean, I agree with Trevor. I mean, they're back here, but they have to do something about it. You know, I mean, that's the way it is. So,
Don?
but there's
Yeah.
no panic here.
No, it's. I look at it as more opportunity. It's a spot
Panic,
where
panic for the fans will come in if Dallas shouldn't win this next
Even
game.
if Dallas doesn't win, you still got 2 games.
Yeah.
I
mean,
said for
you
the
don't-
fans, Poncho.
I
not-
know
not
that.
for them.
I'm trying to tell the fans to
Yeah.
not freak
Fans
out.
need to chill. Yeah, but you can kind of. I mean, if you're going to freak out, it's okay. John, quit waving your finger in the air. Damn it. Oh, They can panic when they're, on the brink of being done, when we expect them to go for another month.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this.
Prerogative.
If the Stars had lost game 3, came back and won
here
tonight.
we go with the ifs again.
No. 2-2. But does everybody feel better going back to Dallas tied 2-2 if the Stars have won the most recent game?
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
That's the point.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Right, but they won the second one or the third
you
game.
You just like to twist things around. Reality is, I get where they're coming from. And this is really the only game that I think one team has dominated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And they didn't dominate from beginning to end, but they were
clearly the better team.
Big thank you to Sean,
5,
Craig,
4,
Trevor, our
3,
guest, Sam, and John.
2,
I'm Owen.
1.
We'll see you Monday for Game 5.
Tomahawk City.
We all silly like the mayor.